The road to the second annual Great American Sim Race makes another stop, as tonight it's the first of 3 recruitment races that will be broadcast over the next 3 weeks, as we are just 4 weeks away from the second annual running of the PGR 500. We wish you a good evening and welcome to iRacing's virtual Daytona International Speedway for tonight's running of recruitment race action. Live tonight on the PGR eSports Network. My name is Dawson Wise. Going to be taking you through the action here tonight as heat race number 1 is on the racetrack. We're going to have to get to it pretty quickly here tonight in this one. It will be 2 10-lap heat races, the top 15 coming out of each one, and then, of course, the feature race at the end for 30 laps. Bit of a longer feature tonight. Decided to get the broadcasting going for tonight in this first of 2 heat races. Decided to get it going in the broadcast department here tonight. Let's get right to it. A little bit late to the party tonight. A little bit of technical issues coming in tonight, but regardless, we are here and we are ready to go for some heat race action. On the pole for heat race number 1, it'll be the 33 of Dawson Wise, a time of 50.248 seconds. It is outside on row 1. It's Malik Ray, the 2-time defending champ of the PGR SummerSlam 499. He'll go from the outside in row number 1. He'll go from second. Row 2, Justin Tutunchin made a start back in the SummerSlam events and in the PGR 500 events last year, if I'm not mistaken. He'll go from third. It's Payson Lindsay that will go from the 4th spot. Row 3, Carson Freeman in car number 4 tonight on your timing and scoring. He'll go from 5th. Wesley Lynch in the 32 returns tonight in the 6th spot. Row 4, Tony Green in the 5, and Matthew Stolnick makes his PGR return in the 8th position. And on row 5, rounding out the top 10, Landon Burbage in car number 3, and it's Mike Davenport for Team PGR back in position number 10. Back on row 6, it's Frank Chavez in the 23 and David Stoops in the 67. Back on row number 7, it's Steve Sizemore in the 8 and Kyler Wynn in the 82. Row 8, Robert Richardson in the 105, Lucas Hardy in the 13, Stephen Gilmore in the 93 will round out tonight's field in heat race number 1. It's a bit of a lighter field. Some other promotions have some racing going on tonight, so a little bit lighter here than we're used to, but it'll be action all the same for the guys in these heat races and in the feature a little bit later on. Again, a 30-lap feature coming up right after 2 heat races. 10 laps in length, minimal cautions only if needed here in these heat races. And of course, in the feature, it will be just like a normal racing format. There are payouts on the line for some paid drivers tonight. Notably, guys like Dawson Wise, guys like Malik Ray, Kyler Wynn, Mike Davenport, they're in for the payouts tonight. The top 3 new drivers will receive free entries into the Great American Sim Race, the PGR 500, coming up in February. By the way, we are just 4 weeks away from the PGR 500. PGResports.com and the PGR eSports Discord are your place to get involved and to join an ever-growing entry list. It's going to be an incredible event. We are just 4 weeks away from that event here. Coming up, actually 4 weeks from tonight is the start of the PGR 500. It's coming up quick. Get your signups in. PGResports.com can get you all the information that you need to know. We'll do heat races that week, Monday through Friday. We'll have a pole shootout, which I'm excited to tell you guys about later on as we get into the event. Maybe we'll talk about it some tonight. Of course, some LCQ races on Saturday, the dual races on Saturday, and 500 miles Sunday, February the 8th to crown a PGR 500 champion. It's Dawson Wise and Malik Ray. They're going to get us started tonight in heat race number 1. They bring the field into the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We're underway for heat racing in the recruitment race. Off turn 4, lap 1 complete. Malik Ray leads at only 10 laps in these heat races, normally 15, so less time. 17 cars for 15 spots. As they roll off into turn number 1, Malik Ray leads Jackson Buys on the outside. On the inside, it's Lindsay on the push-up. Tutunch trouble. Around goes Justin. Tutunch airborne. 42, 33 involved as well. Multiple cars go scrambling down the outside. Tutunch with major damage. Steve Sizemore's gotten a piece of it. Carson Freeman's gotten a piece of it, I believe, in car number 4. The 33 is actually 32 on timing and scoring. That's Wesley Lynch. So a number of cars involved early. Notably, 3 cars also did not make the grid. We'll get to that in just a moment. For now, let's go back and take a look at what brought out the opening caution of tonight's race. We'll go up top first. Kind of get an idea of what started it. We kind of saw it live just a little bit. Watch the 42 on the inside to Tunchin. It's actually going to be Carson Freeman out back. That gets into Wesley Lynch, turns him down the hill into Tunchin. And around go those 3 cars. Matt Stolnick is in it. Mike Davenport is in it. Big hit there for Freeman as Tunchin tumbles through the air. Stolnick gets another piece there. Steve Sizemore in the 08. He's going to get into it as well. So a number of cars involved. At least 4 have major damage. Stolnick has some damage as well. We'll have to wait and see on him. Looks like he has bypassed the pit road, so maybe not as bad as we thought. Freeman, Lynch, Sizemore, Tunchin all have severe damage on their race cars. They've all brought it to the pit lane. Take another look up above. Perhaps we'll go to a drone shot here. Get an idea. We're messing around with some cameras tonight as well for the broadcast angles as we tune ourselves up for the PGR 500. See the contact there. Freeman into the left rear of Lynch. Both got turned up the hill, and Tunchin got sandwiched in between Lynch and the safer barrier, and he went up and over and got pinned to the safer barrier. You see Sizemore coming into it. Stolnick is up there as well. One car got past it. That might have been David Stoops that was able to get past it. We'll take one more look at it, and then we'll head back up front and get ready to go for the restart. From up top of the safer barrier, it's going to be a wild one here for Tunchin. Watch the 42 on the inside. Some big hits there for all involved. Tunchin, Sizemore, Freeman, Lynch. Again, those cars that got major damage. You see Stolnick up ahead. He got some damage in this as well. So cars on pit road fixing damage as Malik Ray leads the way right now in car number 1. So going to a restart here in just one moment. Again, 2 heat races, 10 laps apiece. We will set what looks to be at least a 29 car feature tonight. 3 cars were not able to make the grid. Lucas Hardy, Stephen Gilmore, Kyler Wynn did not make the grid for this first heat race. Will not race later on tonight. So only 14 cars. Everyone's going to get in to the feature race tonight. Have a chance to run for either the payout positions or for a free entry into the PGR 500. This is the combo that you will see. It is the NASCAR Gen-7 race cars at Daytona. Again, February 2nd through the 8th. For now, entries are still open. So again, get your entries in at PGR eSports.com. Come be a part of the biggest sim racing event of the year. If you'll remember back a year ago, the first annual PGR 500 had some of the best racing that we have ever seen under the PGR banner. From the heat races, which had a few of the best finishes of the year, to the LCQ races. They were desperate and a lot of fun. And then, of course, the dual races. Dual race number 2, if you want to go back and watch the PGR 500. First of all, the feature was a great race as well. Pleasure to call that one with myself and Evan Pasoko. A lot of fun there for 500 miles. That was a great race. If you're going to watch any other race from that week to convince yourself to get in on this, it's dual race number 2. that had a 3-wide photo finish. It was green nearly the entire time. It had a 3-wide photo finish at the end that basically encapsulates the entire week of racing. That's how great last year's event was. So if you're going to watch any race from last year, it's dual race number 2. If you want to get excited, if you want to see a reason why you should come compete against some of the best, it is absolutely dual race number 2. So go take a look at that one from last year. Again, should be all the evidence that you need. We're getting ready to go back to green here, though. Malik Ray is your leader. He'll elect the outside lane for this restart. It's been a pattern recently in these next-gen cars to elect the outside lane on these restarts under the new aero package that we have. Jackson Wise is going to line up to his left elbow in the second spot. Row 2, Payson Lindsay, Tony Green, followed by Mike Davenport, Landon Burbage on row 3. Robert Richardson, Frank Chavez, David Stoops, the only cars not currently serving penalties on pit road, but rather getting damage fixed on pit road. Matthew Stolnick, Steve Sizemore coming off pit road. Wesley Lynch, Justin Tatunch, and Carson Freeman continue to sit there. Again, they'll make it. No reason to push the issue here. They'll all make the feature. Only 14 cars started in this opening heat race, but continuing to sit on pit road, so a bit of a lighter field. Only 11 are going to settle this one here. 5 laps to go when we come around to retake the green flag. So Ray and Buys on the front row, looking to make their way into the feature. They're racing for money. Tony Green, I believe, would be racing for the free entry. We'll have to check on guys like Landon Burbage, Frank Chavez, who I know has made a PGR start in some capacity in one of these events before, but David Stoops possibly racing for that free entry as well. So some guys in the field tonight, a bit of a lighter crowd with other promotions, again, having Daytona events on the same night. It makes for an opportunity for guys to get in on the action of the PGR 500. Green flag back in the air, 5 laps to go. Malik Ray top to bottom on the nose of Jackson Buys. Tony Green, no help out back with Mike Davenport. Now Green's going to blink, an extended blink for the HenderCars.com Chevrolet. He'll drop down 4th in line. Lindsay going to take forward into 3rd in line. Does he take the run or does he push on the back of Jackson Buys? He'll opt to push. Davenport going to drop down as well. Out back, 1 car out of line. That was Landon Burbage. Davenport thought about going with him. He will not. 1 car will. That might be the Richardson machine, the blue, pink, and black machine, but he's going to drop back down in. That's the Bang Energy Chevrolet. Now 6th, make it 7th in line. Burbage drops to 8th. He's going to drop in as well. Now it's Richardson leaning out of line. Davenport leaning out of line. Chavez is in the middle of those 3 cars, waiting on someone to make a move when they come back. 4 laps to go here at Daytona in heat race number 1. Ray, Buys, Lindsey, Green, Davenport, your top 5 again. All these guys are going to make it. Not much consequence here, so you can feel free to go for the win if you so choose. Does Jackson Buys push Malik Ray around for 4 more laps? So he decided to try to win it on the last one. Payson Lindsay, the 99, what does he do in all this? Tony Green racing for one of the new entries. How about that? 5 machine, 4th in line. Would start provisionally 7th in the feature should he finish there in the 4th spot. Mike Davenport behind him, one of the veteran drivers of the money racing community at this point in his career. Off of 4, still Malik Ray. Out back, Burbage trying to get it going again. He's got Steve Sizemore with him, a willing pusher. David Stoops thought about it. Now Sizemore's going to drop in. Burbage tries to clear across the nose of Sizemore. That didn't quite work. They'll all keep it lined up, though. Burbage, not sure if he blinked or what happened there, but Landon Burbage has disappeared off of the screen. May have had a technical issue there, a connection blip. Perhaps he has not returned to the racetrack again. He will still make it. He started the race, so he'll finish inside the top 14. Went off turn 4 to be Popsicle Sticks out the flag stand, this time by 2 laps to go from Barney the Flagman. As we get ready to end heat race number 1. Malik Ray's led it all the way through. And looking to lead wire to wire, get the win in the heat race, and move to the feature start on the pole. What a year it's been for Malik Ray. What a couple of years it's been for Malik Ray. 2 straight wins in the SummerSlam 499. Now holds 2 championship belts. The only man to have ever won the championship belt for the SummerSlam 499. The only other crown jewel winner in PGR besides the winner of the first PGR 500, Daniel Falkingham. It's only 2 men have ever come home with crown jewel wins. It is a prestigious race to win. It is a crown jewel. Someone will add their name to that list here in a few weeks. Malik Ray looking to add another win to his long resume here in the past 365 days. One of the most successful money racers on the platform. Has led wire to wire so far. Jackson Wise is second in line. Does he go for it here off turn 4? You got to imagine he might. Payson Lindsay beats him to the punch. Lindsay to the outside. Ray to the block. Green on the push. Back down comes Malik Ray. Lindsay not going to quite get alongside Malik Ray, or is he? Payson Lindsay is alongside him. They've got more cars down bottom side, though. Davenport comes to the back of Jackson Wise. Off turn 4, final time. Third car joins the top. Drag race all the way back to the start-finish line. Outside is Lindsay, and he steals it. Payson Lindsay's going to start on pole for the recruitment race feature coming up in just a moment. How about that win for car 99? Malik Ray leads 9 3/4 laps, but Payson Lindsay on the push of Tony Green captures the win in heat race number 1. It's going to start on the pole here in just a few moments. How about that? So a cool moment there for Payson Lindsay as he captures the win in heat race number 1. Again, everybody that you saw that made it on track will race in the feature here in just a moment. Let's get into another one, though. Heat race number 2. Still one more to go in tonight's event. And let's get the grid set for the second of 2 heat races here at the Daytona International Speedway. On the pole, making his PGR return tonight for the first time since last year's PGR 500. He started in the feature. He's returned tonight for the recruitment race. It's car number 9 on your timing and scoring. He'll have the 16 on board that car tonight. That's Aaron Brown. He'll go pole in heat number 2, a time of 50.268 seconds. To his outside, it's one of the upstarts of the community, Ethan Eckert, a multi-time PGR winner at this point in his career. Looking at a PGR 500 to that in just a few weeks. He'll go from second in car number 12, the AutoZone Ford Mustang. Row 2, Trevor Kelly in the 36 in the M&M's Toyota. To his outside, it's Kevin Allen in the 76. At this point, is a PGR veteran. Row 3, Michael Barksdale returns tonight in car 00. He'll go alongside Zachary King in the 51. Row 4 is Dale Rapp in the 52 and Ryan Philbrick in the 06. Row 5's Chris Gaxel, driver out of the UK, will go from position number 9. Ethan Miller will go from position number 10. Back on row 6, it's going to be Brandon Yates on the inside, Ronald Clancy on the outside in the 12th spot. Row 7, it's Wyatt Gray in the 18. He'll make a start tonight, at least provisionally. We'll see if he's made the grid. He has not yet put his car on track. One of the drivers that was kind of double booked tonight, if you will. So he's slated to start 13th. Does not appear he's going to be making that start. Ethan Skye scheduled to start in 14th. Thomas Parker is going to start from 15th tonight with Kelly Akron in the 16th spot and Mason Rosser in 17th. Notably, Gray, Akron, Rosser not on the grid. Their cars are not on track. So if it stays that way and they do not turn a lap, they'll all be eliminated, and all 14 of these drivers will make it in as well. Same format as the first race. 10 laps. Everybody's going to make it in, it appears, as of right now. So looks like everybody else will be racing into the feature. Again, a bit of a lighter crowd than we're used to in terms of the PGR regulars or the big names that we're used to. A lot of guys are double booked tonight and are racing in other Daytona events tonight, qualifying races taking some precedence tonight, but a few of the regulars did show up. A few of them have run in other races and have made their way over here, so want to thank them for showing up. Want to thank everybody that's in the chat as well. Joanna Buys, Mark Person, Chris Carter, Jason Ragecock as well. Good to see everybody out in the chat tonight. Thank you so much for watching. And hope you enjoy this second of the 2 heat races. Green flag going to go in the air. Aaron Brown, Ethan Eckert on the front row. Green flag. And away we go for heat race number 2. Going to get to see a lot of the new drivers tonight. It's going to be a pretty steep competition, I would say, for the free entry. Again, top 3 new drivers tonight out of the feature are going to win a free entry into the PGR 500 in a few weeks, and there are a lot of them tonight. So really interested to see who's going to get those free entries. It is a pretty steep competition for those tonight. Aaron Brown up and around Ethan Eckert early in this one. Eckert dropped down in turn 1. Aaron Brown says, I don't want any part of that. I want to lead. Remember, Aaron Brown led laps in the PGR 500 a year ago. Is back for more here in 2026, trying to make a second straight trip to the feature. Ethan Eckert, if you'll remember, the first ever pole sitter of the PGR 500. He qualified that car on pole position last year. Looking to do the same in 2026. Looking to be back in the feature, start on the pole. Trying to have a little bit better outcome this time for car number 12. Kevin Allen jumped around Aaron Brown. He went top to bottom. He wants the lead, but it'll still be Brown here off turn 2 that gets the lead down the Daytona super stretch. Allen to his left elbow now, pushed by Eckert. Trevor Kelly, Michael Barksdale in line down there up top. It is Brown, Zachary King, Ryan Philbrick, and then Ethan Miller in the 20, the Raptor Chevy, 4 rows deep. Big push on the bottom. How about Allen? He's going to go half a car length clear. Not enough to get up in front of Aaron Brown, but enough to lead for a moment. It'll be Brown trying to trail back to his outside, but hand that lap to the Logitech Chevy of Kevin Allen. 3 up, 3 down so far. How about a car out back trying to go 3 wide? Couldn't particularly tell who that car was. Might have been Chris Gaxel in the 707. No, it was not Gaxel. It was perhaps Ethan Sky. Different name aboard the name rails on that car, so had me a bit stumped for a moment. When they come back, 7 laps to go. Heat number 1, Kevin Allen now comfortably out in front. Top lane has faded just a little bit. Ethan Eckert doing good work on the bottom to keep Kevin Allen out front. Trevor Kelly's forward to 3rd. Where does he want to go with it? Michael Barksdale's going to get clear. The big red Chevy, 4 rows deep. Familiar look for Barksdale, by the way. He's run several PGR events in his career and has run those big red colors every single time. Almost gets turned there. That was Dale Rapp coming to his aid in that middle lane as they try to get it going here down the back straightaway. But Ethan Eckert and Trevor Kelly doing a really good job right now keeping Kevin Allen out front. Allen would start 2nd in the feature if he finishes right here. Outside continues to try to get it going. They just can't get anything consistent working up the front. Now here they come. Barksdale, big run to the outside of Trevor Kelly. Eckert sees it, answers the call. He's going to jump up to the bumper here of Michael Barksdale and go right back down to Kevin Allen on the inside. New leader at Daytona, the AutoZone Mustang of Ethan Eckert. He's going to come right back up and cover the run that Barksdale had. Let's see if Barksdale splits to the right. Let's see if he jumps to the left. Thinking about it, bringing Eckert down. The move wasn't quite quick enough, and Eckert's able to block. Got to be quicker than that if you're going to try to get around Ethan Eckert. Aaron Brown coming back to the front. He's going to nose to the outside. Nobody going with him. Outside now, Philbrick. Sky, big block there. Brown on Zachary King. Dale Rapp going to jump to the outside of Barksdale. That's for 2nd. Kevin Allen trying to recover. Eckert blocks to the outside. He's going to block Rapp to the safer barrier. That's going to allow Barksdale to come all the way through. Rapp tries to split. Brown goes with Eckert, and it's chaos here up front. 5 laps to go. Barksdale on the inside. He gets the lead for the moment. Not for long. Here comes Ethan Eckert. Eckert on the outside. Brown going to split all the way to the wall. Not going to take no for an answer. Eckert trying to block. Brown continues that advance. Eckert now all the way up, and he's in the sucker hole. Brown up the outside. Barksdale on the inside. Eckert stuck in the middle. He'll drop to third row deep. Ryan Philbrick gets stuck out of that as well. He's all the way up against the safer barrier, hung out. Zachary King pushes Aaron Brown back to the lead. It'll be 4 laps to go. Ethan Sky on the back bumper of Ethan Eckert. The Ethan and Ethan connection up on the outside trying to make things work. Inside, still Brown, then Zachary King, then Barksdale, then Allen. Barksdale, big shove here to Zachary King, that 51. on the inside. He's going to have a big run when he gets there. What's he going to do with it? What's Barksdale going to do from third? Does he want to go take it? Eckert trying to get something going on the outside. King takes the run. He'll go to the outside. Barksdale will go with him. Allen will go with all three, and Aaron Brown stuck on the bottom with no help. Gaxel's going to be the first car to get to him. About fifth on the inside. New leader is Zachary King. Then it's Barksdale. Then it's Allen. But Trevor Kelly has Ethan Eckert. They're rallying the troops in the outside lane. Eckert splits. To the middle goes the 12. Trevor Kelly out of line. Eckert going to try to jump back in the middle. He's got Ethan Sky now with him, who just jumped across the nose of Aaron Brown. 3 laps to go. All over the place. The guys up front. Back to turn 1. Eckert, big push on the outside from Ethan Sky. King trying to get teed up here with Michael Barksdale and Kevin Allen. Nothing doing so far. Monster run. Here comes Eckert to the outside. He wants to lead again. He'll get it down the super stretch. Sky Brown in line with him. Ronald Clancy coming forward on the outside as well. That Oreo Chevrolet 4th car in line. To the inside goes Ethan Sky. It's now Eckert on the outside and Sky on the inside. The Ethan and Ethan show at the front at Daytona. Eckert pushed by Aaron Brown. Sky pushed by Zachary King. When they get back, 2 laps to go already. This one's been clean and green as compared to the first one that had the 1 caution. Eckert leads at the line. He'll lead over Aaron Brown, who comes through with Ronald Clancy out back of them. Then it's Ryan Philbrick coming forward a little bit. Brandon Yates for the first time as well. Brown wants to lead from Eckert. He jumps to the outside, dekes him in turn 1. He'll get the lead, but for how long? Clancy now the lead pusher on the outside. Sky is the lead pusher on the inside. Trying to tee up these pushes. Out back some scrambling as guys try to pick the lane that's going to work. Eckert, Brown, drag race down the backstretch and off into the banking of turn 3. When they come back, they'll see the white flag. It'll be 1 lap to go. In heat race number 2, Kevin Allen's going to jump out. Ethan Sky, contact with Aaron Brown. Everybody saves it. They're still door banging off turn 4. Sky worked up the racetrack, got into Brown, and everybody keeps it going. White flag, 1 lap to go, heat race number 1. Eckert on the inside's got the better push. Brown is yet to get another push from Clancy as they work back towards turn 1. Sky works up the racetrack again, is able to hold on to it again. Aaron Brown, can't imagine he's too happy with Ethan Sky after the couple moves right there. Inside's way off the bottom as they work off turn 2. Big move to the outside, Sky. Eckert blocked him. Sky into the right rear. 3 wide down the back. Eckert through the block on Brown. He gets all the way back down. Ethan Sky with a huge move off turn 2. And into turn 3, he'll take the lead. Clancy looking down. He looked to the middle here for a moment. We're going to drag race for this one too. Contact between Clancy and Aaron Brown. That might be what the inside needed. Brown looked to the middle. He's going to get turned by Zachary King. Drag race back to the start-finish line. Ethan Sky wins Heat 2. An absolute barn burner in the second one. He beats out his fellow namesake Eckert by a car length at the line. It doesn't have to be a huge pack of full money racers for it to be really exciting racing, and that's exactly what we just got right there. Some exciting stuff. They'll now enter a warm-up period here for just a few minutes before we get going under the green flag. And again, I feel like the common misconception is the bigger the names, the better the racing. That's not always the case, because those guys just put on a heater right there in heat race number 2. That was fun, no pun intended. That was a lot of fun to watch. And some competitive cars, and Ethan Sky at the end outduels Ethan Eckert, who, again, is a multi-time PGR winner. He was in the PGR Championship race a couple of weeks ago. He started on pole for the PGR 500 in this next-gen race car. That's not, again, Ethan Eckert, one of the top drivers, I would say, in the community, at least right now. And Ethan Sky just outdueled him. Made the right move on the backstretch, was able to work the side draft, and forced Eckert into having to make a desperation move at the line, trying to side draft him backwards. It did not work, so props there to Ethan Sky, Ronald Clancy on the push, Zachary King. A number of cars did a really good job there at the end of heat race number 2. And we're able to outduel Ethan Eckert. But now it's time for the feature. Everyone will come back together, and we'll decide a winner here in a 30-lap feature event. About 90 seconds to go in the warm-up period. You'll see cars on track, getting ready to get things underway in heat race or excuse me, in the feature race here for the recruitment race. So again, just to refresh your memory, we are racing not only for payouts tonight, there are some guys in the field tonight racing for a payout pool, but a lot of drivers that have made this feature with the crowd being a little bit lighter are racing for a free entry in the PGR 500 in just a few weeks. So keep that in mind as we get into tonight's racing in the feature. Again, it's 30 laps instead of 20, but keep that in mind that, yes, there are payouts on the line, but also a lot of drivers in this field are racing for the free entry into the Great American Sim Race on February the 8th. So about 30 seconds away from putting cars on track. We'll update the grid for you on the pace lap. The inside lane will be from Heat 1. The outside lane will be decided by the finishing results of Heat 2. So keep that in mind. The front row, for example, Pace and Lindsay, the winner of Heat 1. Ethan Sky, the winner of Heat 2. They'll start on the front row for the recruitment race feature. And cars will reset. We'll get on track. We'll reset the grid as well. And we'll start to work our way into the pre-race for the feature event. On the pole of the feature, again, it's the winner of Heat Race number 1. It is Payson Lindsay in car 99, the red and white Coca-Cola Chevy. He'll go from the inside of row 1. Ethan Sky will start to his outside. Car 21 on the timing and scoring, of course, it's the 77, the Moto Casino, the Carson Hocevar colors. Aboard that car, he'll go from second. Row 2, Malik Ray in the 1 machine. Ethan Eckert in the 12. Row 3, Tony Green, a great performance from him in Heat Race number 1. Ryan Philbrick, how about that, in position number 6. Finished third there in Heat 2. Failed to mention that at the end of the race. Great run for him as well. He'll go from position number 6 in the 06. Row 4, Jackson Buys in the 33. Ronald Clancy, a great performance for him in Heat Race number 2. He'll go from 8th. Row 5, Robert Richardson in the 105. And Kevin Allen in car 76. Row 6, Mike Davenport for Team PGR. Ethan Miller in car number 20. Row 7, Steve Sizemore in the 8. Michael Barksdale in the 00. Row 8, Frank Chavez and Brandon Yates. Row 9 will be David Stoops in the 67. Chris Gaxel, the driver from the UK. Row 10, rounding out the top 20, Matthew Stolnicht and Dale Rapp. Row 11, Landon Burbage in the 3, Thomas Parker in the 10. Wesley Lynch in 23rd. He'll go from the inside of row 12. Alongside him, Trevor Kelly crashed at the end of Heat Race number 2. Justin Tutunchin will go from position number 25. Zachary King in 26th in the 51. Was up front a lot in Heat Race number 2. Last 2 cars on the grid, Carson Freeman in the 4 and Aaron Brown in the 9. Brown got turned on the last lap of the race in Heat Race number 2. And we'll start from the tail end of the field. 30 cars in the feature here, or rather 28 cars in the feature. Again, payouts on the line, but free entries on the line as well. The busy Daytona season gets underway. Really, it's getting underway this week. A lot of promotions are beginning their Daytona events this week. Looking forward to get to race in a few of those potentially, getting to broadcast a few of them as well. Of course, the PGR 500 is coming up. PGR 500, a couple other 500-mile races taking place over the course of the next couple weeks. Of course, we've got the Daytona 24, both in real life and in iRacing, coming up in a few weeks as well. A lot of the guys in the money racing scene are putting together teams to run the Daytona 24, so the busy Daytona season underway. That's going to be here in about 3 weeks. Then it's the PGR 500 right after that. Then it's the Daytona 500, obviously in real life, the NIS Daytona 500 as well here on the iRacing service. ERA Omega Cup Spring Bowl right around the corner at Daytona as well. A busy, busy season for sim racing right now. It's a fun, busy season, but boy, is it a lot of racing for some of these guys trying to win some prize pools. Green flag in the recruitment race. We're underway from Daytona as it's Lindsay and Sky on the front row here for for the feature race tonight. 28 cars It is a top 5 payout. And the top 3 new drivers are going to get free entries into the PGR 500. We'll try to hear from series owner Michael Triscaro after this race to see who gets those entries, because there are a lot of new drivers he's got to keep up with tonight up top in the race control tower. Lindsay leads down the Daytona Super Stretch for the first time. Sky will jump to his outside. He's got Ethan Eckert on his back bumper, the two that just dueled for the win in Heat 2. On the inside, the two that dueled for the win in Heat 1. Malik Ray pushing Payson Lindsay. Off turn 4 for the first time, coming back to complete lap number 1. And it's going to be Ethan Sky that leads over Payson Lindsay. They're holding their own here at the front of the field. Would be a big win for either of those drivers if they were able to get the job done in this recruitment race. It'd be a big win. There's some really good cars in this thing. Sky down to block Lindsay. He'll jump to the inside on the bumper of the 99. Ray still pushing through him. I would not be surprised to see Malik Ray jump up to the assistance of Ethan Eckert here down the Daytona Super Stretch. He will do just that. Lindsay and Sky have tandemed away just a little bit. It's nice going into 3, but as the field starts to get closer and these two cars get separated, it's going to be a massive run from out back. As Malik Ray and Ethan Eckert have gotten hooked together up on the outside, they've got Philbrick with them. One other car is up there as well, Jackson Buys. I know there's some Jackson Buys fans in the chat. He is currently 4th in line. Man, that outside just cannot get it going. Ethan Sky and Payson Lindsay are driving away here. Not sure exactly what's going on in that outside lane right now with Malik Ray and Ethan Eckert. They're trying to get it hooked up. They're just not really going anywhere right now. Malik Ray's going to jump back down in line. I'm not sure what's going on there with Ray and Eckert, but the connection just not very good. Now these two have separated, and here comes the big run. Malik Ray on the push of Tony Green. Ray to the outside. Nobody goes with him. Green's going to stay home on the inside. Now he'll jump out and around. Does Tony Green. New leader at the line. It's Malik Ray. Tony Green going to jump down with him. He'll go to 2nd. Ethan Eckert goes to the 3rd spot. Philbrick and Sky will battle for 4th. Jackson Buys up the outside. Michael Barksdale up the outside. Davenport not too far behind them up on the outside lane. Lindsay has been relegated already almost outside the top 10 after leading with Ethan Sky just a moment ago. In turn 3, Ray and Eckert now hooked up. Now it's working. So now they'll go 1-2 here in turn 3. Philbrick. Buys now lead the outside lane. Jackson Buys, a Light Series winner from this past year. Guy who likes this car. PGR winner now as well, I believe, on a Thursday night. So a guy who likes this car, knows how to get around it. Trying to work his way up to the front here with Ryan Philbrick on the outside. So far, so good. 5 laps up and down here at Daytona. Malik Ray, Ethan Eckert continue to lead the way a few laps into this one. Tony Green, Ethan Sky throw on the inside. They're both clear. Further back, 2 wide, most of the way back, 3 wide, back around Matt Stallnicht, who's trying to make something happen. Couple cars on the apron, dipping their tires down there for a moment. Eckert up and around Malik Ray. Eckert wants the lead. He's going to go to the push of Ryan Philbrick here in turn 1, but the push is not quite there. Tony Green right to work on the back bumper of Malik Ray. Great showing so far for Tony Green, Ethan Sky, Payson Lindsay, Ryan Philbrick. Up front and throwing haymakers with some of the best. Oh, trouble. Tony Green's going to get turned by Ethan Sky. Can he save it? Trouble. Eckert's going to get turned by Philbrick. The caution's going to come out. And cars are crashing back here mid-pack. Only one car around. It's Robert Richardson. The other 2 made the save. That's unreal. For Ethan Eckert and Tony Green, who both make the save. Robert Richardson goes for a slide. The caution was already out. It's thrown as a precaution, but really great job to the whole field right there to avoid a big incident. Let's go back and take a look at what did occur off turn number 4. You'll see the contact here between Tony Green and Ethan Skye. As Tony Green worked up the racetrack, kind of hit the apron, tries to come back down, gets hooked by Ethan Skye just a little bit. Does a Kyle Busch impression, throws the front end on the apron, gets some sparks. Then Philbrick, trying to miss the incident, hooks Eckert down into Malik Ray. Somehow Malik Ray kept his car straight. And look at this synchronized slide for these two. Eckert, he makes the save. How about Tony Green also making the save? Out back, they started to scramble, and there's the contact right there. Thomas Parker into the left rear of Robert Richardson. And it was Richardson that got around. Oh, Chris Gaxel, nowhere for him to go either, so there actually is some damage in this. But Richardson and Gaxel, the only two that are going to have any major damage out of this incident. As Richardson goes for a slide, he also avoids any other contact. So the only contact he had was with Parker and then with Gaxel. Go back and take a look at another angle of what happened to Robert Richardson. Again, the crash is going to start up in front of them. They're all on the brakes, but as they come off turn 4, you see Eckert up ahead. He slides. Here comes Tony Green. He's going to slide. And watch the fast and all forward of Parker and the Richardson car. There's the first contact. And then here comes the second contact with Gaxel right there. Nowhere for him to go. Gaxel committed to the apron. Could not quite get around the incident as Richardson was spinning towards the inside wall. We'll take one more look at it. We'll go back up front. Get ready to go under the green flag once again. You'll see the slide start up in front of them. And fans get a great view as Richardson's going to go for a slide right there's the hit with Gaxel. Look at everybody else, though. Trevor Kelly, Justin Tutunchin, some cars up in front of them as well that scrambled to make sure that wasn't a lot bigger incident than it seemed like it was going to be. So back up front as we get ready to put these guys back under the green flag. It is Ethan Skye that runs up front. Ryan Philbrick will restart in the second spot. Then it's Mike Davenport, Tony Green on row 2. Wesley Lynch and Payson Lindsay will be on row 3. Aaron Brown, Zachary King, 7th and 8th on row 4. And Michael Barksdale and Dale Rapp round out the top 10. Malik Ray, Ethan Eckert, Jackson Buys, Kevin Allen, among the cars coming to pit road that are not for damage repair. A couple cars coming down to get damage fixed, but Eckert, Ray, Allen, Buys, all coming down pit road for normal but unscheduled service from their pit crews. Was not aware of any fuel question that there was going to be tonight. But those guys did come down pit road. So interesting there that all 4 made the decision to come back down the pit lane. This 30-lap feature race tonight going to be a lot like Ethan Skye's come to a stop on the apron. Not sure what's going on there. This 30-lap feature race tonight is going to be the exact format used for the heat races in the second annual running of the PGR 500. In a few weeks, Ethan Skye has actually gotten the penalty for the cause of caution. So he'll restart from the tail end. So actually Mike Davenport will move up and restart as the leader. This is going to be very similar to the heat race format that we have for the PGR 500. 30 laps of distance in each of those races. So guys getting a practice run, if you will, for how the PGR 500 will work. It's going to be 25 drivers in each heat. So this is actually really similar in environment to what you'll see in a PGR 500 heat race. The top 10 will continue racing. The top 5 will go directly to one of 2 dual races. 6th through 10th will go directly to a last chance qualifier. Those races, all 4, excuse me, last chance qualifier number 1, last chance qualifier number 2, and duels 1 and 2 will be on Saturday afternoon and evening. Saturday will be a bit of a gauntlet for some guys that make the LCQ out of the heat race. Some guys will have to race 4, potentially 5 times over the course of the weekend. If you have to run your heat race, the LCQ, the pole shootout, the duel, and then the 500. So going to be really interesting to see guys attack that throughout the weekend. Green flag back in the air. Davenport off and running. Philbrick to his outside. Inside is better connected. It is Davenport on the push from Wesley Lynch and Aaron Brown, but they get offset, and that's going to allow Ryan Philbrick to go to the lead. He's going to actually clear down. He'll bring that car to the race lead, so Ryan Philbrick leads at Daytona for the first time. Tony Green trying to get the outside going. He's got Zachary King with him. They've got Carson Freeman. Remember, Carson Freeman crashed in heat race number 1. Had to start from the back of this feature race. He's going to go all the way to the front here. He's inside the top 6 on lap number 10. It's a good run so far for him. Matt Stallnecht was involved in that crash in heat race number 1. He's inside the top 10. Off turn 4, down to the line. 20 laps to go at the start-finish line. New leader. Outside's rolling. Tony Green, the Hendrickar Chevrolet, to the lead for the first time. On the push from Zachary King in that green, blue, and black 51 Ford. Who wants the lead now? King, Elaine Iyer steps out of line. He's going to side draft Tony Green. He wants the race lead. His help still a little ways back, about a car length back is Carson Freeman. But King maintains the lead down the Daytona Super Stretch. Push from that black, gold, and red number 4. He'll lead all the way to 3. He's going to clear down, but Carson Freeman trying to beat him to the punch. Won't do it. Freeman jumps down in line second. He'll have to settle for it there. Now it's Stallnecht on the outside. He's got Wesley Lynch with him. Justin Tunchin is there. Again, from the back of heat race number 1, he was involved in that big crash. He's up inside the top 7. And behind them, Jackson Buys, the first of the cars to come to pit road, along with Ethan Eckert, have made their way back inside the top 10 as well. Steve Sizemore is there, also in the 8. Zachary King leads, coming back to 18 laps to go. Stallnecht trying to get that outside lane to work. They've not gotten a ton of headway. Now they're starting to get some here down the back end of the back straightaway. He's within about a car length and a half of the leader. That's about as close as he's been able to get. Good work by Freeman and Tony Green on the inside. Freeman thinking about looking for the lead off turn 4. Going to stay in line for now. Tony Green third in line. Here comes Stallnecht. Here's another big run to the outside. He's to the door of Carson Freeman. This is as close as he's gotten. Going to try to get the lead here off into turn number 1. Stallnecht to the outside. Leans outside of Zachary King. And into turn 2 now, off of turn 2. Stallnecht's help bails off him trouble. Around goes a couple of cars. Aaron Brown, Steve Sizemore. The caution's going to come out. Ethan Miller is the other car involved. They'll all 3 go on innocent slides. And that is the extent of the caution flag on lap number 13, the second caution of this feature, coming out just before the halfway point. And again, kind of like the first one, seems like we avoided any catastrophes there. Couple cars going for a slide, but really nothing else other than that. They were 3 wide. Back around Ethan Miller, Ethan Eckert, and Steve Sizemore. Try to go up top, see exactly kind of what caused this one. So there's a stack up right there on the outside. You see Buys gets stacked up, Sizemore gets stacked up. Ethan Miller fills the hole, not enough time to get on the brakes. And Sizemore goes to come back down in line. He's not clear. He makes contact with Miller. Miller plays pinball with Eckert and Sizemore. And then they're both going to get sideways here on turn 2 and onto the back straightaway. Aaron Brown, unfortunately, an innocent bystander in this. He's going to get clipped right there. But again, good job by Clancy, Malik Ray, Barksdale, and others, to where Aaron Brown did not get hit here. He just goes on a slide down the back straightaway and is able to drive that car out of the mess. As are the other two, Sizemore and Miller. They continued on as well. So all three cars going to keep it going. Another look at it here. You see the contact there, Sizemore and Miller. Miller plays serious pinball. And Aaron Brown gets hit in the crossfire. Good job by him, though, to lock it down, not get hit by anybody else, and continue that car forward without any additional damage. We'll go back and take another look at it before we get ready to go back under the green flag. Again, you'll see up ahead, it's Miller and Sizemore that make the first contact. Look right up ahead of these guys. Miller fills the gap. There's the contact right there between him and Sizemore. You see the pinball game. Sizemore gets around, Miller gets around, and Aaron Brown had this missed, but gets collected in the secondary as those two slid down. Not sure if either of those cars hit the wall. I don't think they did. Brown goes for a slide. Let's see if Sizemore is able to keep this thing off the wall. I think he was. Miller, some damage from the other two cars, but nothing too extensive. And Sizemore is able to get that car woed down before it got to that safer barrier on the inside. A lot of space on the apron here at Daytona for you to spin and not hit anything. And Sizemore got a little bit lucky that he got turned a little bit more by Ethan Miller, or it might have been a very different story or the driver of the 08. So we will line them up one more time. And go under the green flag here with 15 laps to go. In this Daytona recruitment race for the PGR 500, again, if you're just joining us, I want to thank you for joining me here tonight. Only 15 laps to go in this one. A bit of a shorter broadcast tonight, but wanted to get back on the mic. I'm trying to sharpen myself back up for the PGR 500. Need some reps going into that race, so wanted to bring you what is ending up to be one of the most unique races in PGR promotion history, as the crowd is so light, considering that a lot of the regulars, again, are off running qualifying races for other 500-mile marquee events going on over the next couple weeks. So many of those guys are tied up in that and not able to get back to run this event, that this field actually is mostly comprised of guys that you wouldn't normally see. And I think that's a great thing, not only for them to be able to have a platform to come race at, but also for us to be able to have a stiff competition for the entries into the PGR 500. It's a lot of cars up here. Zachary King, chief amongst them, that could win an entry into the PGR 500 tonight. Again, it's only the top three. And the cars that I know for sure are racing for them, Zachary King, Ronald Clancy, could be Wesley Lynch, could be Ryan Philbrick, Tony Green, Brandon Yates, Dale Rapp, David Stoops, Chris Gaxel, Ethan Skye, who's had a very good night as well, possibly Robert Richardson, Ethan Miller, Trevor Kelly. There's a good 10 to 12 cars racing for 3 free entries into the PGR 500. So that competition is as stiff as it's ever been. Usually, it's only a few of those guys that make it into the feature to begin with. Usually, by the time we start the feature, we know the few guys that have won those entries already. Tonight, it is completely wide open. And there are several cars that have had really good nights. They could very easily get one of those entries. Zachary King has been up front in his heat race and has been up front in this one. Ronald Clancy was up front in his heat race. Ethan Skye won his heat race. Ryan Philbrick's been up front. Tony Green's been up front quite a bit in the 5-car. Brandon Yates. I mean, there's a number of guys in here not only that are fighting for those spots, but that have run well enough and have been up front. This could come down to the last lap, and that, to me, is a really cool feature of tonight's race. We'll see how it pans out. A long way to go. Still 14 laps to go at Daytona. It's Zachary King and Matthew Stallnicht on the front row. Stallnicht is a multi-time PGR starter. a light series driver as well from this past season, so we'll see if he can get anything done here on this restart. Green flag back in the air, 14 to go at Daytona. Stolnick immediately going to jump down in line. Davenport is going to lead the outside with Payson Lindsay, our Heat 1 winner. Malik Ray is there. So too is Thomas Parker. Thomas Parker, a longtime money racer. He's in the field tonight, car 99. The blue and white 59. The red and white 59, or red and white 99 is Payson Lindsay. Outback Freeman trying to split. Davenport still leading the outside lane. They're up around Parker. Almost a little bit of contact there as they start to work their way forward. Zachary King up front of the push of Jackson Buys. Davenport's got a huge run out back. The Tire World 55. He is flying. Off turn 4 when they get back, 13 laps to go. Zachary King continues to lead. On the push of Jackson Buys, but for how long? Stolnick's going to jump up. He sees Mike Davenport coming. He wants a piece of that. So does Jackson Buys. Up around Zachary King. It's the 33 of Buys, but trouble out back. They're crashing in turn 1. Multiple cars have gone around. Steve Sizemore, Ethan Eckert are involved, among others. So the caution flag comes back out. Just inside of the halfway point, so we'll be inside of 10 to go when we go back green in just a few moments. Let's go back and take a look here. What happened back around Steve Sizemore and Ethan Eckert. That's where this one is going to start. Trying to get a better angle of what exactly happens here. Sizemore going to the middle of Eckert. Eckert's up top with Brandon Yates. And I think these two are just going to meet here into turn 1. Sizemore works up the racetrack. He's going to catch the left rear of Eckert. He turns the 12 around right in front of Brandon Yates. Nowhere for Yates to go. He's going to get in right there. Chris Gaxel misses it on the inside. Big wreck avoidance there from Ethan Miller, who barely squeaks by on the inside. Same can be said for Trevor Kelly. And then Eckert and Sizemore going to the outside wall in the follow-up. See Yates right there getting another piece of it. So 3 cars involved in this, the second caution of the feature. Sizemore, Eckert, and Yates. The cars involved this time around. Go take another look at it. This was up the hill into turn 1. Sizemore in the middle, Eckert on the top side. Maybe a little bit left for netcode there. That angle tells me there was a little bit more separation between those two cars than I thought, as Sizemore got into Eckert. Sizemore ends up with the brunt of the incident. Eckert lost quite a bit of his front end as well. Take one more look. Then want to get a look from the onboard camera of Ethan Miller in the 20. As he got past this, perhaps Trevor Kelly as well. Oh, wow, that's actually a considerable amount of netcode. You see that angle right there? It's a lot of left rear netcode from Sizemore to Eckert there. Look at Ethan Miller on the inside. Really impressive job there, Trevor Kelly. Kevin Allen gets by it in the 76. I believe that's David Stoops behind them. Let's go real quick and watch the onboard from Ethan Miller. You're going to see it start in front of him, and he makes his way through it. A really impressive effort. Here's the view from the Raptor Chevy of Ethan Miller. That's a quick decision that you got to make as a driver. To be able to get past that one. To be able to get past a wreck like that, it happens so fast, it kind of comes up into your lap really quick. And for Miller right there, he did not have much time to commit, but made a decision, went right down to the bottom, squeaked by the incident. No panic moment from him, it didn't look like to me, and was able to drive through it. And make his way through and stay alive in this race. Zachary King leads the way. Jackson Pies is second. Jackson Wise getting a little early practice in for the Daytona 24. He just took the bus stop right there on the back straightaway. Guys getting a little bored under the caution flag, taking the bus stop right there. Again, a lot of us, including myself, we're going to be running the 24 here in a couple weeks, so we're all kind of in high gear practicing for that, as well as also getting prepared, obviously, for PGR 500, the ERA event, the NIS Daytona 500, and then multiple other promotions Daytona 500 events that are coming up over the next couple weeks. So, very busy time, but a lot of us also on the road racing side as well, getting ready for the iRacing 24 Hours of Daytona. Its largest event by user count, I want to say, every year. It's pretty close. There's a lot of people that are going to be up and around for the Daytona 24. So, looking forward to that event. Again, a lot of us are racing in that, so try to find some of our points of view. I know a lot of us are going to be live streaming our runs in that race. A lot of guys like to stream the whole 24 hours, no matter who's in the car. So check out some of those streams this year. They're a lot of fun to watch. It's a really unique event. We only really get to endurance race a few times a year, so check that out here in a couple weeks as we get prepped for that, and then, of course, get right into the prep for the PGR 500. Want to thank some more people in the chat. Eric W., Buster Malcolm, both saying hello. Devin Ray saying hello. Devin, good to see you again in the chat, as well as John Ward. John coming out of one of those qualifying races tonight for one of the other special events. This week happens to be the NASRA 500. That is going on over the course of the next several days. Qualifying races going on tonight. That is where many PGR regulars are tonight. Those fields are stacked full of some of the best money racing talent in the service. That is why the field tonight a little bit lighter than you might expect. A lot of those guys either are in action now or were in action just a little bit ago. That included John Ward. Unfortunately, John's night did not go as he planned, but obviously some more opportunities coming up for all the drivers that did not make it out of tonight's heat races. Coming up over the next several days, the very unique rebuy system where you can get back into another heat race. Getting some LCQs as well. So, cool stuff over there. Again, a lot of guys from our territory, I guess, if you will, are over there running. It is incredibly stacked. I watched a heat race earlier with John Ward, Daniel Eberhardt, Dylan Jones, Cody Nagels, Kenny McCullough, Josh McCullough. I mean, it is a lot of some of the best talent in some of those races and not a lot of spots to go around. So, looking forward to watching the rest of that event this week as well. We got business to attend to here, though. 9 laps to go at Daytona, the recruitment race. And the story of the night's been Zachary King. Second straight restart that he's had the lead on. Jackson Wise is the second place car, followed by Matthew Stallnicht. In car 41, Mike Davenport. Bit of a cold streak for Davenport and Team PGR over the last little bit, looking to get back to victory lane tonight is Davenport. Payson Lindsay was the Heat 1 winner. He's coming forward as well. He's up to 4th on the push of Malik Ray. Out back, some scrambling back around Barksdale, Thomas Parker, Ethan Skye. They're trying to get it sorted out. They do get it sorted out. Well, not quite. Barksdale going to split 3 wide. How about Michael Barksdale? Tony Green to the outside. 3 wide for the first time in this feature race as it's Barksdale trying to make ground up against the safer barrier with Tony Green behind him. Wesley Lynch going with both of them. Barksdale trying to make it work up there. They're to the outside of Ronald Clancy. Now to the outside of Parker as the third lane starts to die off just a little bit. King continues to lead up front on the push from Buys. Malik Ray squeezes his way up around Payson Lindsay. He's going to go to the push of Mike Davenport off turn 2. As they work the outside lane, Stallnicht kind of in no man's land. A car length behind Jackson Buys. A car length in front of Payson Lindsay. Now he's going to get a big run as those two come separated here at the front of the field. Buys and King. They were tandem. They're not anymore. Lindsay in front of Malik Ray. Stallnicht in front of Lindsay. Buys in front of Stallnicht. King in front of all of them. Big push from Buys on the outside as King through the block. It's a big block there for the 51. Buys probably could have been a little more cutthroat there making the pass. Going to choose to cut him a break as he could have very easily passed Zachary King. Lindsay to the inside trying to get Carson Freeman to go with him. Malik Ray is coming back to the front of the field as well. Mike Davenport going with him. Stallnick turns left, trouble. One car in the wall, they're going to crash. Ronald Clancy, big hit to the outside for the Oreo Chevy. Thomas Parker's in it. A couple other cars are going to come to a stop as well. Frank Chavez is the other car involved. 3 cars in it off turn 2, and another big incident with 7 to go will send us to a late restart. It was Ronald Clancy that got around first. Carson Freeman was also sideways. But it was Clancy that gets the brunt of this one along with Thomas Parker and Frank Chavez. Actually, it was Chavez that was around, not Carson Freeman. Apologies. It was Clancy that got around first. Let's go up top first. Kind of see what sparked this one. You'll see right here. Oh, actually, it started back before this. Let's go back a little bit further. So, stack up there. Chavez actually gets some help from Ronald Clancy first. Clancy kind of knocks him out of line. Then Clancy moves to the middle, splits him 3 wide. And, oh, you see Freeman and Lindsay had kind of started to drift up just a little. Clancy may have panicked just a little bit. Comes up. Gets into Chavez and kind of pinballs back down. Ryan Philbrick, nowhere for him to go. He's going to turn the 22 sideways. And when the 22 overcorrects, he's going to come back across, collect Thomas Parker, and into the outside wall go Parker and Clancy. Big right front damage for them. There's Chavez. He's actually going to get another hit in it as well. Is that red 23. So 3 cars involved. All 3 have some pretty considerable damage here, all things considered. Could have been a lot worse for some of the guys towards the tail end of the field, but good job by a lot of guys missing that one. Let's get another look at this one as they worked their way through turns 1 and 2. Wrong button. Apologies. See Clancy. There's the split 3 wide. He's going to go back to the middle. And right there, again, he kind of just overcorrects when Freeman starts to work up the speedway. He overcorrects, then he gets pinballed just a little bit between Chavez and Freeman. And then he gets turned by Ryan Philbrick. And back across Parker. And look at this hit for both these guys right here. Bang! Into the safer barrier. Go both of those cars. And then Chavez, nowhere for him to go in the secondary either. So unfortunate for Frank Chavez there. He's going to get a couple of pieces of that one. And then he actually spins down. Does he hit the inside wall as well? He spins down. This is a pretty quick rate of speed that he's going down towards the inside wall. He locked it down at first. Then he got back on the gas trying to drive out of it. Gets back on the brakes. Does he manage to keep this thing off the wall? He does. Just barely, but he does. Take one more look at it here. As they work their way through turns 1 and 2. Clancy in the middle, pinball. And it's on from there. So we'll have a late restart. It'll be inside 5 to go. At least one green-white checkered is available. I've not been reliably informed how many there are, but I know there's at least one. Should we require it, we'll obviously have to see if we get into that green-white checkered how many we have. I know we have at least one. But this will be a regulation finish. It will be 3 laps to go when we go back under the green flag. Zachary King's led himself a lot of laps tonight. If he hangs on to win, not only will he beat some of the best of the business, he'll also capture a free entry into the PGR 500. And the way he's run tonight, tell you what, might just be a force to be reckoned with in those heat races. Jackson Bias going to line up to his outside in the second spot. Row 2 going to be Matt Stallnick and Malik Ray. Row 3 going to be Mike Davenport and Payson Lindsay. Then row 4, Carson Freeman and Ryan Philbrick. Ethan Skye is back up to 9th position, the Heat 2 winner. Justin Tutunchin is up to 10th. Driver that was in the mix in both the SummerSlam 499 and last year's PGR 500 qualifying events. So those two still very much in it as well. I want to say, beyond Zachary King, I want to say the next driver that is in line for the free entry would be Ryan Philbrick. I think. Don't quote me on that. Again, we're going to find out from Michael Triscaro after the race ends who exactly is going to get those entries. Ronald Clancy has come to a stop here at the end of the back straightaway. He's sitting still. Not sure. That may trigger the pace car lights. Nope, Clancy is rolling, so the pace car lights will stay off. I think beyond King, it's Philbrick, Skye that are the next two. Justin Tutunchin's run PGR sanctioned races before, so he's not in the running for it. Wesley Lynch, same thing. Robert Richardson is questionable. We'll see on that one at the end of the race. Chris Gaxel, I know, is in for it, but he's 12th, or 13th rather. Tony Green, Trevor Kelly are 14th, 15th. Brandon Yates, Ethan Miller, Dale Rapp, David Stoops, Frank Chavez are all in it, but they're all in the 20s. Aaron Brown's been a non-factor tonight. He's back in the 15th spot. I'm surprised. One of the guys that ran well in the PGR 500 last year has been basically a non-factor. He's got 3 laps left to try to make himself one. Green flag. Huge jump for Zachary King. Was it too good a jump? He's going to jump up in front of Buys. Jackson Buys has Malik Ray with him. These two guys are money racing guys, regulars on the PGR circuit. Do they push? No, they do not. And Zachary King's going to be able to block it, though. Buys turned left, but it was too quick. And Malik Ray wasn't able to get down when Buys jumped down, and King's able to jump down and lead down the back straightaway. How about this for Zachary King? As he tries to finish off what will be one of the best upsets of the year so far in money racing. Stallnick to the outside. He's got Davenport going with him. Payson Lindsay is there. Carson Freeman comes through, and so does Ethan Skye. Remember the move Ethan Skye put on to win heat number 2? Trying to make it back-to-back. Here in this one, Barksdale and Gaxel almost crash out back for 15th. 2 laps to go. King continues to lead, but he's a sitting duck with Jackson Buys on his back bumper. Malik Ray running 3rd. It's going to be the guys behind those two that really muck this up for the 2 running 2nd and 3rd. I don't see a way that they don't win this thing. Freeman goes to the outside. He wants to lead that lane and give himself a chance. Stallnick is going to push him down the Daytona Superstretch. Skye continues to be boxed in, but he's all the way up to 4th. Zachary King leads down the back straightaway and off into turn number 3. And he'll lead all the way back, potentially to the white flag. If they make it back, we're going to finish this thing right here. Skye gets clear. Malik Ray trying to block trouble. Around goes 1 in turn 4. We're going to go into the caution, or are we? It comes out. The big one strikes. Tutunchin's in the wall. Philbrick's in the wall. Wesley Lynch slides sideways, and they're crashing behind them as well. Michael Barksdale, Robert Richardson, several other cars involved. Tony Green is in it as well. And they almost made it back to the white flag, but not quite. Carson Freeman's in it. That's not the first car I saw get around. I think it might have been Richardson again. Let's go take a look. It was the Bang Energy Chevy of Robert Richardson. We'll go up top first as we have all night. This was actually, I thought this was Carson Freeman that this started with, but it's actually Robert Richardson. Ethan Skye is going to make a move to the outside right here. He finally got clear, and I was kind of waiting on that 77 to make this kind of move. He's going to jump up. Malik Ray's going to jump up. Richardson had started to follow and gets hooked by Tony Green and can't quite make the save. He's going to overcorrect and up into Freeman. Stallnick's in it. Davenport is in it as well. You see a hit right there for Mike Davenport. There's Green again. Philbrick, Tutunchin, Lindsay, Miller, Barksdale, Wesley Lynch. Goodness, Kevin Allen. Oh, my goodness. You want to talk about some luck. There's Tutunchin and Philbrick into the wall. Here's Lynch. Oh, he's going to collect Gaxel. That's the second time tonight that Chris Gaxel has found his way into a crash that was not his doing. Kevin Allen with the avoidance of the night to this point somehow made it past this incident. We'll show you that here in just a moment as well. As they came off turn number 4, we'll show you this kind of close-up TV angle. We're going to kind of get lost behind the pole. There you see Richardson, Stallnick, Freeman. Freeman's going to come back down. He's going to collect green. There's Davenport getting in it. Aaron Brown narrowly missed this too. Ethan Miller is involved. Look at Allen. You see that car on the right side of your screen. The blue, black, and white 76. Somehow he misses this. Big hit here for Philbrick and Tatunchin. There's Wesley Lynch going through the grass. There's the hit with Gaxel. This one is a big one. There you see Wesley Lynch still sliding through the grass. He did some lawn mowing down there, some landscaping. And goes for another slide. It's actually going to go back down into the grass. So again, this one started with Robert Richardson. Trying to get a little bit better camera angle here. Show you kind of the tail end of this one. Actually try to give you a bit of a wide shot here. A little too wide. Let's go back and watch the whole wreck again. Again, fiddling with some cameras tonight. Trying to work on some broadcast packages for the PGR 500. Up ahead, you see Sky and Ray go to the outside. Richardson started to follow, and as he tries to reset and get back in line, it's a little bit too late across the nose of Tony Green. Green's going to turn him back up the speedway. Carson Freeman, Stallnick, Davenport, Lindsay. There's Green again, and you see it's kind of on from there. Look at Kevin Allen, though. Look at Kevin Allen in this. Miller, Barksdale, and he just splits the Red Sea and drives right through all of it. How about that? Kevin Allen. Best wreck avoidance on the night so far. Stallnick actually got away pretty okay, too. Only a punch on the center nose. With the 41 of Matthew Stallnick, too, will stay out here. Let's go on board with Kevin Allen in this. This is going to be an onboard that you'll want to watch for sure. The C's part for the 76 of Kevin Allen. Here's how he saw it off turn 4. How about that? It drives that thing back up on the speedway, and we'll restart inside the top 10. Let's reset it for you here with 2 laps to go. There is at least one green-white checkered here. One is the standard. So as I interpret it, we will likely run this out here under this last 2-lap restart. So we'll give it just a second and make sure that's true. If the caution comes out, obviously we're going to go to another attempt. If not, we will run it out right here. If we get back to the white flag and there is not a caution, this race is official. We will race it out under the green flag. It will end no matter what happens up front. So we will give it, obviously, a few seconds before I try to say caution or the race is over, but we will await that and see. Starting or restarting lineup here for this green-white checkered. The story of the night's been Zachary King, and he continues to be the story. He is still your race leader on this green-white checkered. He'll have control of the restart. Jackson Wise will go from position number 2. Ethan Sky is probably the car to watch on this restart with the moves he's been making. He made another one right there, right before the white flag. He will restart from 3rd. It'll be Malik Ray restarting in 4th. Aaron Brown, I talked about him being a non-factor all night. He'll go from 5th. Mike Davenport will go from 6th. Again, a guy looking to end a dry spell tonight. Row 4, Payson Lindsay, our Heat 1 winner. Matt Stallnick is up there as well in the 41. Row 5, Kevin Allen, who just had that wreck avoidance, and Chris Gaxel. He's been involved in a couple tonight. Going to try to cash in. Who wants the payouts? Who wants the free entries? We're going to find it out right here. Green flag, green-white checkered. Attempt number 1 is green. It's another monster restart for Zachary King. He's been on the ball all night. He's on the ball again right there on this green-white checkered. He brings Sky through on the inside in the 77, but Jackson By is able to side draft his way to safety and stay on that outside lane. King, where does he block? He blocks bottom with Ethan Sky. He's going to have to go right back up to the top, though, and Bias gets this push from Malik Ray off turn 2. Does he block it? He's trying to work up the racetrack, but now he's going to stay with Ethan Sky on the bottom. May have waited too long. Bias gets to his quarter panel. Sky trying to stay off Jackson Bias and trying to push through on the bottom. Aaron Brown is 3 deep in line. King is clear. Sky is clear. And as they work through turn 4, they're going to see the white flag when they get back. Off turn 4, down the front stretch into the tri-oval. White flag is up, 1 lap to go. Sky to the outside, he wants the lead. Ethan Sky to the lead in the feature of the recruitment race. Jumps back down, here comes Jackson Wise. Wise on the push from Malik Ray. Davenport there as well as Aaron Brown, who's got the better push. Through turns 1 and 2 so far, it's the bottom lane that's got more cars. Sky, Buys, trading, paint, doorbang in trouble. Around goes Aaron Brown. Brown out of it. 2v2. Here comes Kevin Allen, trouble. Around goes Mike Davenport, Stallnicht, and Matthew Yates in the 67. Back through turns 3 and 4. Who's going to get the job done? For the final time, Richardson joins the party in the outside lane. Drag race all the way back to the start-finish line. Buys on the outside. Sky on the inside. The upset bid comes up short. Jackson Buys wins the recruitment race here at Daytona. Another barn burner in the feature. A Light Series winner this year, a PGR winner this year, and now a recruitment race winner is Jackson Buys. One of the upstarts of the community. This, I'm telling you, a driver to watch come mid-February. When we get to Daytona again, Jackson Buys will be one of the drivers that you'll want to watch all week in the PGR 500 as a dark horse pick to go home with $3,000 in a trophy, and he proved it tonight as he gets the job done, ending the upset bid. Midnight struck for Cinderella and Ethan Sky and Zachary King as they'll come up just short. It's a familiar spot for Jackson Buys. It's victory lane. He'll do some burnouts here on the front straightaway. Traditionally, we will let him do just that. He's not even done burning it down. He's going to burn it down on pit road, too. Zachary King's going to burn it down with him. King's going to get one of the free entries, by the way. Sky, King, and either Robert Richardson or Chris Gaxel. I'll have to double check on who the third one's going to be. But I know Sky and King both get one. So as Buys continues to burn it down, we will look through your finishing results. We'll get an interview with at least him. We're trying to get Malik Ray as well, the third place finisher tonight. But we'll at least hear from Jackson Buys as he wins the recruitment race from Daytona. He ends the upset bid of Ethan Sky. It's Buys coming home the winner. Sky comes home in second. How about that margin? 1/1000th of a second for second position. Ethan Sky beats out Malik Ray. So Sky finishes second. Ray finishes third. Zachary King, man, he did not win, but I'll tell you what. He got one of the free entries to the PGR 500, and you better watch out for him come that week because he threw some moves tonight against Jackson Buys. Malik Ray Ethan Eckert, he threw some moves against guys that are going to be running up front in the 500 come February the 8th. I mean, these are not slouch guys by any means. We talked about Malik Ray. We talked about the wins that Jackson Wise has this year. We talked about the wins that Ethan Eckert has this year. And then veterans of the service as well. Mike Davenport was up front tonight quite a bit. So, I mean, again, these are some formidable drivers. And Zachary King held his own and more in tonight's feature. He goes 4th. Robert Richardson finishes 5th. Kevin Allen 6th. Chris Gaxel 7th. Dale Rapp 8th. Trevor Kelly 9th. Frank Chavez in 10th. Carson Freeman finishes 11th tonight, with David Stoops in 12th. Justin Tutunchin in 13th. Tony Green 14th. Michael Barksdale in 15th. Ethan Miller in 16th. Matt Stolnick in 17th. Mike Davenport in 18th. Brandon Yates 19th. Aaron Brown 20th. Payson Lindsay 21st. Good run for him tonight despite the 21st place finishing position. He won Heat 1 in a big upset tonight, so good for car number 99. He'll go 21st tonight. Ronald Clancy, 22nd. Ryan Philbrick, 23rd. Wesley Lynch, 24th. Thomas Parker, 25th. Steve Sizemore, 26th. Last car on the grid in the feature was Ethan Eckert in 27th. Well, we're going to at least talk to your winner in just one moment. Still attempting to get Malik Ray. Into the broadcast booth. But at the very least, we're going to get to talk to your winner, so let's talk to him in PGR Victory Lane. Has won a Light Series race this year, has won a PGR Thursday race this year, and now has won a recruitment race and has, I would say, put his name on the map for the PGR 500 coming up in just a few weeks. Let's talk to him. It's your race winner from Daytona in the recruitment race. It's Jackson Wise. Jackson, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You got a copy? Well, look, let me tell you, what a fun one tonight, a barn burner, a unique one, though, and that's kind of where I want to start. A lot of guys tonight that are not regulars. Obviously, I talked about a bit of a scheduling conflict going on tonight, but some guys put up a fight tonight. At the end, you have to battle out with Ethan Sky, Zachary King. Kind of take me through what you saw with the newer drivers tonight and, you know, take me through the scramble at the end, but just what it was like racing against some new faces up front.
I don't know. It felt normal to me. It felt like just a regular race, almost like you're signing up for an A-fixed race. You know, you see some people you've never heard of before, and you have a few buddies in it that you know. I think they ran pretty well, you know. Expected to see some cautions, but it was nice that this race was longer. We didn't see cautions like we were, and we actually had time to make moves and get up through the field. That was one thing that I really enjoyed with the lengthened out races. So, I mean, out of everything, I think the only thing was there's a few newer drivers in here that probably need a little bit more experience, but weren't terrible.
Well, look, let's talk about your race now. Obviously, did well in the heat race, did well in the feature race. You go to victory lane. You know, now we look forward. We're 4 weeks away from the PGR 500 coming up here at the beginning of February. Where's your confidence level at for that event, especially after tonight? Obviously, holding your own up front, beating out a guy like Malik Ray, obviously a multi-time PGR winner. Kind of where's your confidence level at as we get closer to the Great American Sim Race?
I'd want to say it's a humble confidence level, but there's no guarantee about it being humble. I think I've got a shot, but there's definitely people out there that have a better shot than me.
And one more thing, obviously, before we let you get out of here and celebrate a recruitment race win tonight. You know, going into that race, did you learn anything tonight you're going to take into a heat race? Obviously, those races 30 laps long, this race 30 laps long, pretty much identical in the format. Did you learn anything that you took down as a note going into those races, kind of how you're going to attack a heat race as we start that event here in a few weeks?
I just see it as a little bit more practice before the 500 is coming up. You can see what you have to do and see how the damage affects you and how it doesn't affect you, what you need to get fixed and what you don't, and who's going to push well and who isn't.
Well, winner tonight in the recruitment race from Daytona. Congrats on the win. Before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Thank you to Triscaro for putting up this race tonight. Thank you to the people putting up 500s. Thank you to the broadcasters. And thank you to the people watching.
Appreciate you for talking to me here for a second. Congrats again on the win tonight, the recruitment race. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Dawson.
Jackson Wise, winner tonight from the recruitment race from Daytona. We'll talk now to a man that we have gotten very familiar with talking with over the past several years here in the money racing community. Again, a multi-time crown jewel winner and multi-time PGR winner, one of the winningest drivers in series history. He comes home third tonight, certainly going to be towards the top of a lot of people's betting odds to win the PGR 500 here in a few weeks. It's Malik Ray in the One Machine, the driver in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. We'll get to talk to him here for a second about his efforts tonight and also how he's feeling as we get closer to the Great American Sim Race. It's Malik Ray in car number 1. Malik, it's Dawson in the broadcast booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
Well, not too bad. Look, a bit of an interesting one tonight. Obviously not the regular crowd, I guess you could say, of PGR regulars, that is, that contested tonight's race. But still, at the end of it, you know, obviously have to upset a Cinderella bid a little bit. Take me through what it was like racing against some of these guys at the front that put up a bit of a fight against you guys here on the last lap. Almost got to victory lane in a big upset.
Yeah, they was holding some really good lines. It was nice, you know, like racing with new people that knew how to drive and stuff like that. Like, you know, they did really good tonight. I was enjoying it. It was nice.
Well, you come home third. Obviously, you know, we talk about the fact you're going to be towards the top of the betting odds to win this thing here in a few weeks. You know, what is your confidence level like personally as we get ready to head into that event? Obviously, got some races here coming up in this next-gen car on Daytona, getting you guys ready for that. Where is your confidence at? Where's the mental space at 4 weeks out from the PGR 500?
I feel pretty decent. I just got to make sure that I'm, you know, like I'm just around my teammates and try to be, you know, like up front at the end because, I mean, you know, you already know how the end of these races get, so.
Well, for sure. Obviously, you know, 30 laps tonight. The heat race is 30 laps in the PGR 500. I asked Jackson this question. I'll pose the same question to you as well. Did you learn anything tonight that you're going to take down in your notebook for a heat race in the PGR 500, kind of how you're going to attack that race? Did you learn anything tonight that we're going to see you use here in a few weeks when we get to the heat races?
Yeah, man, if you got damage. Hello?
We got you, Malik. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, man, if you got damage, it's going to be a rough night for you. If you got damage, it's going to be a rough night. That's about all I learned.
Well, look, coming up here in just a few weeks, you're going to take your attempt at winning both of the PGR Crown Jewels. Already got 2 belts for the SummerSlam 499. Going to try to add the PGR 500 to your resume that continues to grow. Third place tonight in the recruitment race, though. Before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Jackson Bies for his help, and you guys for putting on the race, and Roger Shelton at 10 Solutions as always, and my teammates. That'll be all.
I appreciate you talking to me for a second. Congrats on the third place effort. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will see you soon.
All right, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Malik Ray, third place finisher tonight from Daytona in the recruitment race for the PGR 500. That's going to all but wrap some things up here tonight from Daytona. As the recruitment race has come and gone, we'll have 2 more of these, and then it will be race week, if you can imagine it already. We are just short of 4 weeks away from the second annual Great American Sim Race. 4 weeks from yesterday is race day in virtual Daytona Beach, Florida. Cannot wait to put cars on track for the first time in Daytona for the PGR 500. It is right around the corner. It's almost race month for the PGR 500. So here's how it will work. We'll have our normal racing schedule this week and next week and the week after that. Following these next couple of weeks of racing, we'll move into PGR 500 week, and that's when things get a little bit different. So the next couple of weeks, we're going to have recruitment races. The next 2 Mondays, to be exact, we'll be back on the call for recruitment races as we finish up the road to the PGR 500. We'll also have normal PGR scheduled races coming up this week and the next couple of weeks as well as we get ready to get into January. Those scheduled events, the car track combinations have not been finalized yet. The Thursday nights will continue to run as normal here on PGR eSports. Want to get you ready for some things coming up in February that aren't the PGR 500 as we get you ready for some more action coming to you here live for myself personally or for PGR eSports. The Challenger Cup Series is coming back on Tuesdays here in about a month's time on Tuesdays. Looking forward to getting back in with those guys and getting back on track for another season from Daytona in early February as well. So looking forward to that one and being back in the booth for the Challenger Cup Series here in 2026. And it's Happy New Year, by the way. 2026 is on the board officially. So looking forward to being back for them. And then for myself personally, looking forward to being back in the booth with Justin Prince and DJ Lyon on the production controls for the Moonshiners Racing League, the OB Builders Cup Series on Wednesday nights. Looking forward to getting back with those guys also in February. My schedule cranks back up right after the PGR 500. So looking forward to being back on both of those series. Looking forward to being back on some PGR Thursday races as well. The Dega Pro Stars and Stripes Shootout Series also going on Friday, as well as the Midnight Racing League on Friday nights as well. So PGR is going to get busy, folks. It's that time of year. Daytona season typically signals the beginning of oval racing for the calendar year. That certainly is the case with myself and many others of us here coming up in the next few weeks. Next time we'll see you will be Thursday night for normal PGR Intimidator Super Speedway Series action. It'll be Dega Pro Stars and Stripes Shootout Racing on Friday. We'll be back next week for the next recruitment race for the PGR 500 right here on PGR eSports. Congratulations to Jackson Buys as he was able to get the job done tonight from Daytona. Did not get official confirmation on this. We know for sure that Ethan Sky and Zachary King have captured 2 of the 3 free entries into the PGR 500. I want to say Robert Richardson has captured the 3rd and final of those free entries. So congratulations to all of those individuals tonight as they all captured some form of prize here at Daytona in the recruitment race. Thank you so much for watching and using the chat and being active and being around tonight, spending some of your evening with us here in virtual Daytona. Thank you so much for your continued support of PGR eSports. The road to the PGR 500 is just heating up. You won't want to miss a thing. Subscribe to PGR eSports, and we will see you next time. Until then, have a great night. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. Good night.